Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Reloaded Podcast. That's the name we chose. I usually go by Spartan85 on YouTube, but for this podcast, I'm gonna go with Kyle because
I
yeah,
get to call you Kyle finally.
yeah, you get to call me Kyle. And that guy talking
I get it all the time. I have to think about it. Spartan just sounds weird.
Spartan. So anyway, with me there, he's over there. I think he's in Upper New York right now, touching his wood. Is Steve? Say hi,
Oh,
Steve.
hi, Steve. I'm definitely touching my wood and smoking some ribs later. So
And when we say touching your wood, you're actually adding wood to your smoker, right?
yeah, I got cherry wood.
Oh yeah, cherry wood. Now that actually
Yeah.
might be a problem. Yeah, you might want to get that looked at. So, so what are we doing? We've talked for a long time about doing a podcast. We talk a lot when we game, when we do YouTube videos, or when we're just gaming at night by ourselves. And we talk a lot. We have a lot to say, and we just decided, you know what? Let's record what we say and see if anybody even likes it. I don't know that people will like it, but we're going to talk. We've decided our topics will be gaming and life. So there's things that we want to talk about in life. There's things we want to talk about in video games. So that's our biggest thing. Video games distracts us from life. So that's what we play them. That's why we play video games. So Steve, let's start with just kind of introductions a little bit. What would be like a very fond or the fondest memory you have for video games?
Or like you got to go with a classic. You have GoldenEye 007.
Did you do
Especially
multiplayer?
people close. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have younger brothers. Like you got you got to appreciate killing your younger brothers and not getting in trouble for it.
And that was on the N64. Like I loved it because they had the 4 controller ports on front. Like that was never done ever again that I know of. I don't know any other console that had the 4 controller ports. And you could just I remember like I had an N64 and my buddy had an N64, so it's like you grab your controller, you go to his house, and you plug it into his N64, and it's like it was just so freaking awesome. Like
Green cheating.
exactly, yeah. Screen cheating. I don't know. For me, I think mine was like, I've been a gamer since I was, I played like Super Mario and stuff. And no, for me, I think my fondest memory was just picking up Morrowind from GameStop for $20, not knowing any idea what it was. I remember looking on the back of the cover and like, okay, RPG elements, there's some crazy looking dudes on the back. And I put in Morrowind when I got home and getting sucked into that game. And I don't mean Elder Scrolls Online. I mean Morrowind, the actual game that came out in 2002. And I don't know. I spent so many hours playing Elder Scrolls Morrowind, man. Like, oh man. Did you ever play Morrowind? Did you play it?
Yeah, that's where the Dark Elves are from, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, Dark Elves.
My favorite race.
And what was that? What was the city? Vivek? Vivek was such a weird town. It was like I think those town that was built on the water and it floated or whatever.
Yeah.
Just some of the weirdest stuff, and then I don't know, the Red Mountain, the Red Mountain looming over you the whole time, and it's like, oh my god, I gotta go to the Red you gotta go to the Red Mountain at some point in the game, but it's just always there looking at you. But did such a good game, good job at that game. Yeah.
But I see places like that though. It's like crap. I got to go there at some point. I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Yep. You're gonna get your ass kicked. That. Any least fond memory? Any memory? Any game that just you think about it and you're like, ugh.
Well, we were talking beforehand, like Destiny 2.
Ooh.
Because you got Destiny, you're grinding your ass off, and then like Destiny 2, it's like sweet, finally something different. Maybe they'll make it less grindy, and it's the same game. It should have just been a flipping DLC, man.
Same game. Okay, so for me, it's Destiny 1, because it had so much hype from being made by Bungie, and Bungie did Halo, and Halo was one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like that, Halo 2 was it introduced me into online multiplayer. I think it introduced a lot of people into online multiplayer, but like you had giant clan wars, you had your own clan, and stuff, and Halo 2 was just so good. Halo 3 was like one of the most epic single player campaigns of all time. And then Bungie's like, hey, we're coming out with a new IP and it's going to be amazing. And then here comes Destiny, and I don't know. I just had different expectations for it. I know a lot of people loved Destiny, and then it was just too grindy for me. It was just grind, 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 grind. And Halo was not grinding. It was just you just murder everything. That's all you gotta do, and then save
Senseless violence.
and talk to the voice in your head too. That's all you had to do.
Now, did you play ODST?
Yes, I did. I liked ODST. I liked it.
I liked it as well.
What about Halo
A lot
Wars?
of people.
Did you ever play Halo Wars?
No, I didn't play Halo Wars. No.
No, ODST was fun. I thought it was cool. It didn't get a lot of hype, but it was fun.
A lot of people are knocking it, and it's like it's a different perspective for a franchise you love.
It was just different. You didn't
I
have
think
Master Chief, and I thought it was fun. ODST was good.
Well, it was Halo ODST. Like, when it came out and I was playing it, I was not fearing that Master Chief was no longer coming back. I just thought, all right, I like Halo, and this is just a different breath of fresh air.
All right, well, let's go on to vampires. So if we don't know what we're talking about, Redfall dropped. If you don't know what Redfall is, I think everybody knows what Redfall is, but it's a vampire game made by Arcane Studios, who is owned by Bethesda, who just got bought out by Microsoft a few months ago, so about a year ago or so, and touted as Microsoft's big first-party game of this year. The big one's going to be Starfield, but this is the big one now. So we got our hands on Redfall, didn't we, Steve?
Oh yeah, we played a little bit and showed you guys what we did.
Yeah, check out the YouTube channel. If you're completely new to this podcast, you have no idea who Spartan85 is or Steve is. We have a YouTube channel, Spartan85, just Spartan-85 on YouTube, and we do all of our gaming videos there. So we actually did check out Redfall. It was probably a mess because we went back and played it afterwards. Like, after we realized how much stuff we missed. Oh my god.
Well, the best thing is though, like, well, we wanted to get our first impressions. No plan around, no tutorial, just go in. And we're like, the whole time, like, the comment section is going to rip us apart for this, and that's legit too. We don't script anything. We were worried about the comment section ripping us, and then we play it again. Start ripping ourselves.
Oh, we're like, we missed a sniper rifle in like the first 5 minutes that would have like
helped on the ferry. We missed.
Oh, we missed so much. Like, it was sad. I was like, do we need to go back and delete this video and just remake it?
Right.
But anyway, so the game. The game is on Xbox Game Pass, so if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can just play it for. I hate to say free because it's not free. You're paying $15 a month for Game Pass, or $10 a month, whatever you're paying. So I hate to say free, but technically it is free. You hop on and you can play cloud gaming or whatever. But it is a $70 game if you don't have Game Pass. And I'll just go through some of the reviews real quick. Let's see. PC Gamer gave it a 44 out of 100, so basically a 4 out of 10. IGN gave it a 4 out of 10. And I'll say IGN, a low for IGN is usually a 6 or a 7. So for them to give a game a 4 is pretty unheard of. Very, very unheard of. Let's see. Game Informer, well, they unscored it. They just unscored it. I don't ever see that either. GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10. Another GameSpot's another one that doesn't usually score low. That's pretty bad for a game you're asking $70 for. And when you got games out there like State of Decay that are $20 that are probably a lot better, I don't know. Steve, what was your just overall thoughts of Redfall? You factor in the $70 or not factor in the $70. I don't care. What's your overall thoughts of it?
Well, I think Game Pass was trying to get people like to get the illusion it's free, and they really loved it and give the good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
$70? Hell no.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell.
And so the point of a first-party game, and if you don't know what a first-party game is, Uncharted is a first-party game for PS4. Halo is a first-party game for Xbox. It's a game that is on exclusively on a console. So the goal of a first-party game is to make people buy the console. So if you want to play Halo, guess what? You have to have an Xbox console or a PC. If you want to play Uncharted, you have to have a PlayStation console. So the goal of a first-party game is to make people buy a console. I don't see this game making people buying consoles. I don't see that.
No, not a chance.
And I've seen Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, basically take full responsibility for the release. You know, it should have been worked on more, blah, blah, blah. You know, and bottom line is, I had fun. I was laughing with you, and like when we played it off recording, when we were just playing it, I had fun. It's
It's wicked fun.
it's wicked fun, and part of the fun is the AI is so horrible. I mean,
We had that floating vampire. We're like, where is that coming from? Oh, he's all the way up there, just sitting.
yeah, like the mission was go kill the neighborhood boss, and so we're thinking like
God,
this is gonna
him.
be a boss fight. Like this, okay, this is a boss fight. Like we're gonna get wrecked, and so we finally find this guy, and I think we scared him more than he scared us. He was
We just drilled into him.
we came,
He's dead.
we came into this room, and there he's like ah, and we're like ah, and we hit him with 2 stakes, and he's dead. And that was on the highest difficulty.
We cranked the difficulty.
I just I don't know, man. I guess what I wanted to get into after this too was if $70, is there a game out there at all that you would pay $70 for? You can think of.
It would have to include the DLC, like way back, Battlefield 3 and 4. Was it 4?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's like, hey, you pay like the $70-$80, but you're gonna get premium. You got everything, and you don't have to worry about buying each DLC.
And you're gonna get
I was
every
okay
DLC.
with that.
Yeah.
Or like the pre-order bonus. Like, but nowadays, like $70 gets you the base game, and that was the base game.
Let's take Call of Duty for example. Like me and you played the free version of Call of Duty, Warzone, for how long? Like 6 months, 7 months, and like
Whatever it was.
we
yeah.
had so much fun. We were kind of like, we need to give these guys some money because we're still in the we're still in money from these guys. Like we never bought anything. Like we never bought any skins, anything. And then we kept seeing like, hey, I want to play the campaign. I want to play cooperative. Like I want to do all this. So we finally broke down and spent. I think we got it on sale for $50 each.
But if it was not on sale, I don't think we would have gotten it.
Yeah, if it was $70, I don't know, it would have been tempting. But we finally did break down and buy the game, and so I don't know. I'm not saying Redfall should have done that, but man, could you imagine if they just made this like a $10 game? I mean, it's just I go back into State of Decay. It's a $20 game, so like you load it up on Game Pass. You're like, oh, it's a $20 game. I have no expectations, but you load Redfall up on Game Pass and it's a $70 game. And you're like, well, this is a $70 game. This better this better be like 4K, 3D, like vampires can speak multiple languages. I mean, like this better be good,
Right.
All right, well, Steve, let's jump into something a little lighter on the mind. What's we kind of talked about this beforehand a little bit, but if we could choose a video game map, and the reason I bring this up is I'm going on vacation this month in May, so I was kind of like, I'm going to Colorado on a motorcycle trip. I'll try to post pictures on the Facebooks and stuff if you guys want to follow that. But we've got talking about a video game map. If we could go on vacation, what world or map would we most want to see? Steve, if you want to start off.
Well, it really depends, dude. Like, are we talking in the video game, or if I go to Morrowind, like, do I have to fight anyone, or?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, it depends on if you're trying to defeat the dude on the Red Mountain, or you're just going there on vacation.
I'm a tourist. You don't mess with the tourists.
Yeah, I think if you're just being a tourist, you're just seeing the world. I think you're good. It's like it's like going to GTA, going to the world of GTA 5, but you're not going to steal any cars, or you might. I don't know.
Well, then probably Valhalla and Assassin's Creed.
Ooh, Valhalla.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right, I have not played that. I've played a lot of Assassin's Creeds, but I haven't played that one.
Well, it's a pretty good one. So yeah, I'd probably go visit Valhalla.
All right.
It means I'm not dead. I'm just a tourist visiting.
I think for me, and I kind of, I don't know. There's so many different worlds that I'd love to see, but I don't know. The Fallout worlds always draw me in for some reason. I don't know, and they're all based in the United States. So one's Boston and one's DC, and one is whatchamacallit, Las Vegas. But I want to go see a Deathclaw, dude. That'd be cool.
But that would fall into a slight chance of dying.
Very, very high chance of dying.
If it's like a safari with a guide, maybe. Yeah, I'd go see a Deathclaw.
Maybe Skyrim. I'd go check out Skyrim. The world of Skyrim. That's pretty cool. All the cool, what are they called? What are the leaders of each clan called? I forgot. I forgot.
Clan leaders.
Yeah, clan leaders. Yeah, yeah. Let's call them that. Skyrim would be cool. The Far Cry, any of the Far Cry worlds, like especially Far Cry 4. Wow, that's just a vibe.
Montana.
Yeah, well, that was 5. 4 was over in like
yeah.
South America, I think, or something like that. I mean, it's fictional, but
Start with a P or something like that.
yeah. So we were kind of thinking like some of these worlds, and of course we brought up GTA 5 when we were talking. Like we just go to LA or whatever, and you, I think you brought up Gotham too. Gotham would be an interesting one.
Well, it's cool. And The Division.
Yeah.
You ever played that by Ubisoft? Like, they did their research on New York City to do that. And there's a lot of detail in that game, the map, that is so similar to New York. So if you don't feel like going to New York, go play Division.
Another one is you know, I mean, just me being always wanted to be an astronaut and a space explorer, but Mass Effect, you know, just
That would be awesome.
oh man, just being able to just, and I'm not even visiting the world or the maps, but just being able to have a ship like that. You can go anywhere you want, you know, and I don't know, Mass Effect would be a pretty cool one. Did you ever play Mass Effect Andromeda? Did you ever play the last one?
Yes.
What were your thoughts on that?
I've played them all.
What were your thoughts on Andromeda?
Well, dude, Commander Shepard.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, it's like they gave Commander Shepard a noble death, even though the ending kind of sucked.
They gave him a couple noble deaths. He died in 1 too. They brought him back in 2.
Yeah. He did die, but like they did do him dirty at the very end.
Yes.
But the amount of hours he put in playing Commander Shepard, I was all right playing as Commander Steve.
Commander Steve. You know, I liked Andromeda. Andromeda was another game that released and got super horrible, kind of like Redfall. Like it came out and just got killed, but I liked Andromeda. I had a blast playing it. Like I don't know. It felt more of like a chill Mass Effect game, because Mass Effect, you know, the first 3 were just insane, just action.
The ending, go.
Yeah, just I liked Andromeda. I did, and we wanted to talk about maybe if there's a certain food out of a video game that we would want to try. I'll start first. I'll go.
Start this one.
Yeah, I'll go with Fallout. I mean, Nuka-Cola.
Mine's Fallout as well, but mine's iguana on a stick.
Iguana on a stick.
But for anyone who's in the know, knows that there's no iguanas, and they know what iguana on a stick is. And that's people.
Oh, that's people.
But when we were talking about beforehand, I was like, it's funny because like I got a real life story about that. But when I was in high school, we had an Earth and Space science class. And our teacher's kind of out there, and he had a human brain that we can poke and prod at. You know, it was donated to science. It's actually from the university across the street.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, as we have these prods, we're like poking at the brain, like seeing how the different tissue moves and stuff like that. And I go to the teacher, I'm like, hey, Mr. C, can I rip off a piece and eat it? Because, like, what other opportunity are you going to have to eat human brain without being in the news?
Exactly.
And no, I'm not a cannibal, but the teacher didn't think I'd actually do it. So he's like, go for it. Like, you know, there's no crime against it. I'm just thinking, like, it's the only opportunity I'm going to have. So I took off a piece and ate it.
That explains a lot.
I can say for the rest of my life, I have consumed human brain.
Okay, so if you're going to a deserted island and you can only take one food with you, would you take rad roach meat or rat scorpion egg?
Oh, see, and I'm a chef by trade. I'd go with the egg.
I think me too. Yeah.
Because there are hundreds of ways to cook an egg, so it's not going to be the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. So another one was soft shell Miralurk meat. I always thought that sounded like crab, and I always wanted to eat that, like soft shell Miralurk meat.
Well, if you're on an island, like you probably have crab everywhere.
Yeah. There's also one called strange meat. I don't know what that one is, but it must be
that's also human, I think.
That might be human. I might be a quest. Strange meat pie is actually what it's called. I'm just kind of looking up some of the Fallout. Boatfly meat was another one. Boatfly meat.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, bug meat.
Death claw egg, a gazelle meat, ghoul meat. There you go. There's your ghoul meat. Ugh.
There you go. I guess that's post-human on a stick, or iguana on a
That's
stick.
post-human. Anyway, any of these things you guys are probably listening to and being like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. You need to eat the food out of this game or whatever. Hit us up. We're going to be posting this on every platform that I can, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever. So find us in the comments of any of that stuff and tell us that we're idiots and that we should eat this type of food. So please, because we are idiots.
That is true. What about would you tempt the perfectly preserved pie in Fallout?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because how is it perfectly preserved, first off?
Yeah.
I think, ghoul meat might even be fresher than that.
And there's 7 Days to Die has super corn. We could always try super corn. It's like you plant it and it becomes more corn or whatever, even more corn. Speaking of 7 Days to Die, if you guys don't know about anything but my YouTube channel, I do cover a lot of 7 Days to Die and Ark and other random video games. I have a Generation Zero playthrough going right now too, but we did want to talk a little bit about 7 Days to Die. Alpha 21 is coming out pretty soon. And I did get accepted to the Alpha 21 streamer weekend. I might be on vacation, honestly, when it comes out, so I don't know that I'll get to play any of it, to be honest. But I'm excited. That means we're closer also to the console update, which is probably going to be Alpha 22, which will be pretty exciting. And I think we've probably established that we're going to have to buy the console version of the game again to be able to play the updated version. How do you feel about that, Steve, buying the new console version?
Well, we were talking about this, yesterday?
Yeah.
Is it, as a console player, have I really gotten my money's worth from the game that I got?
Yeah.
Like, am I comfortable with buying a new game just because it's going to be the same everything?
How long have you played the console version?
Years, man.
Years. Me too. Years. Like I remember buying it from GameStop for like I think $10, like back in 2017, and I played it and I hated it and I put it away. And about 2 years later, I put it back in and I said, "Oh my god, I'm gonna make YouTube videos about this game." I was like, "I love this game."
You got sick of the franchise, Madden?
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, don't get me started on Madden.
Spartan.
I have spent so much money on Madden just to get updated rosters. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. No. No. I think we're both in agreement. Like, I have so much playtime on the console version that I'm completely okay buying a new version. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, I have got my money's worth. My $15. I have got it, man.
Yeah, the only gripe I have though is in the beginning I was promised the PC version at some point.
And that's probably everybody's biggest gripe, yeah.
So I definitely got my enjoyment out of the game. I personally don't have a problem having to buy it again, but at the same time I was promised something. And they're not going to compensate us like anything cool.
No. I mean,
hey, you're a long-time player.
They're trying to work with Microsoft and Sony to maybe give us a discount. I don't see how that's going to work. How am I going to prove that I own the game? Am I going to take a picture of the UPC and email it to them? Like, I mean,
yeah, unless the game's already tied into my account, like
that, and maybe that's it. Maybe if it's tied into your account, maybe they can do that. I mean, I could see that working, but I mean, but
like, what are they going to do? Look at my Telltale Games account.
But what about Game Pass? Like, it's on Game Pass, so all you got to do is get on Game Pass, download the game, be like, hey, I'm a 7 Days to Die console player. Like, I don't know. It's
they might have deep inside the depths, the transaction history or something, like where did we download it or install it from, but
or maybe they're listening to my Alexa like the NSA does, and they can just hear me yelling at the TV about 7 Days to Die. Maybe that's how
when was he first cussing out Carl?
Exactly. Why is he so mad at Kurt Cobain? Why is he bashing him in the head? We want to talk about Ark a little bit too. Ark is another game we play a lot. Steve has probably way too much time invested in Ark.
I do, and I know a couple of the community members do too.
And I'm a little different because I came into Ark later. I came into Ark probably 6 months ago. So I'm kind of a guy that just walked into this dumpster fire. And if you don't know what's going on with Arc, basically they are converting everything to current gen. So all the current gen Xbox Series X, PS5, and if you don't have those consoles, you're going to be left in the dust. You're going to have the old version still, the Arc Survival Evolved version, but there's going to be no server support. There's going to be no online. There's going to be no more updates. Nothing. And a lot of people are mad about that. And Steve, as a lifelong player, lifelong Arc player, how does it make you feel?
Dude, like, again, I'm still salty about it.
You are.
Because it's one thing, all right, we're going to have the next game's going to come out. Maybe we'll ease off the server support, maybe take out a couple servers, whatever. That's fine. I can go hop on a different world with my character. But we're going to push back Arc 2, make you buy Arc 2, Arc Ascended, and then not support you anymore with your game.
I will say,
which is still a very buggy game.
Didn't they back off the Arc 2 though? Finally, now you can buy Ascended without buying Arc 2. I think they backed off of that.
I believe that, yes.
But Arc Ascended is still going to be, I think, $50. I think, and you're basically paying $50 to continue playing the game. I mean, it's kind of like 7 Days to Die a little bit. Like, hey, pay us more money, and you can have this new version of the game. I guess these developers maybe get together and make up these crazy, mad scientist ideas. I don't know, but and Arc 2's got a little weird news going on too. I mean, they put out a press release that kind of said 2025, but it happened to be a typo. I think you saw that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I caught that one. A lot of people are worried that since who made the announcement? It's coming out in 2024 at the moment.
Yes, late. I think it's late 2024, isn't it?
I believe it's late 2024, but it's not firm yet. So we don't know what month. We don't even know if it's still 2024.
And early, it should have been out by now. Basically, what it comes down to, this should have been a game that's on Xbox Game Pass. People should have been playing it, and so it's not. And so Microsoft's probably pissed. And so they're like, give us this Arc Survival Ascended. Give us this new one that we can put out there so people can play on current gen. And we can make people buy our current gen consoles because nobody wants to buy our current gen consoles right now. So
exactly. They weren't in stock forever, so people already forgot about them.
Yeah, so it's just a mess, and it wraps back around to our original Redfall talk and the 7 Days to Die talk, and Microsoft and Sony want people to buy current gen consoles. They've been out long enough, and they want to start converting everything to current gen. But they have to have the games to force us to do that. So just remember, the consumer is always right. I was in sales, so I know that. So I was in retail. I was in retail for a long time, and the consumer is always right. So if people aren't buying the current gen consoles, there's you have to give them a reason to do that, in my opinion. So,
but Digital Domain is the one that came out with that announcement. And
Digital Domain,
it was most likely a typo.
Yeah, which makes you wonder if it is, because we haven't seen any Arc 2 videos in a long time, and it just makes you wonder.
I hope they got Vin Diesel all recorded. He's probably going to be dead by the time the game comes out.
And I've seen a lot of people ask that, like, hey, can we get Vin Diesel to talk about this? Like, I mean, he's an Arc player. I mean, he's very supportive of the game. A character. Yeah, he's a character. But I don't know. That's just crazy. But we kind of wanted to talk about you wanted to talk about a little bit about the Resident Evil remake. Was it Resident Evil 4 that got remade, or they're working on it, or something like that?
Resident Evil 4 is the one that's out now that everyone's either loving or think it's stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of like Redfall.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4. See, I always get that. That's the one that's was that like Africa or something?
Leon.
Yeah, Leon. Yeah. See, I had
Ashley.
My favorite was obviously 1. Resident Evil 1 was my very favorite. I mean, I remember, I still have memories putting that on the original PlayStation, the PS1, and playing that and be like, oh my god, this is like game changing. Like, no pun intended, but like this is like I've never played anything like this before. Never. Like, this is insane. And then 2 came out, and then 3, Nemesis. Oh my god, that guy stalking you the entire game. Oh, Nemesis. Oh, the fond memories. So we kind of wanted to talk about what game would we like to see remade, and I guess a properly remake. Bring up to modern standards. And so, what do you think?
Well, with Resident Evil 4, I'm not getting it. I played it. I know what the game is. I had my fun with it. I'm not interested in the remake of that.
Yeah,
Uh, or GoldenEye, because they did the remake of that and it completely sucked.
which
But I
they
think as far as like
they put GoldenEye on Game Pass, didn't they? Like the
it is, and the proper one, the OG one, is on Game Pass for your controllers.
which is pretty cool. You can't play online. I don't think you can't play online with people,
No,
but
there's
you can play.
no online multiplayer. No, but a game that I would like to see remade is probably like Battlefield 4.
Ooh, okay.
Get some better graphics in there because all the technology's there. They already know how to do it. They may as well just give it a nice coat of fresh paint.
Now, which one was that? Was that a modern Battlefield? I can't remember which one that is.
Modern for the time, yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
like a future one,
Not a future
but
one.
modern
Okay.
for the time, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't played a ton of Battlefield. I played the World War One. Was it Battlefield One? Had a blast with that.
Battlefield 1, that was cool.
I'm a huge World War One buff and World War Two buff, history buff, and so I love when Call of Duties and Battlefields go back to those eras. Although the Call of Duty one, the last World War Two one they made was it felt too modern. It felt like it shouldn't be this overpowered. It just felt too overpowered for me. But Battlefield One was cool.
Battlefield 1 was great. A lot of people were upset because, we had Battlefield 4 and 3, and then we go into Battlefield 1, I can't put attachments on my gun. Dude, in World War 1, you could not put attachments on a gun.
Yeah, and you sat in a trench and you prayed to Mother Jesus that a shell wouldn't land right on your head. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think they had a lot of attachments. They had bayonets. That's what they had. But
Yeah.
where's my red dot sight? Where's my grenade launcher?
No, and I was fortunate enough to be a tester for Battlefield 1, and dude, it was so fun. The glitches before the open beta and all that came out, like the stuff that we had to deal with was hilarious. It was a hilarious game during launch, but it was a good game.
Speaking of a tester,
World War One.
Didn't you test Fork Knife too?
I did. Why are we bringing that up, man?
No, it's funny.
Yeah, I did test Fortnite. I was a tester on too.
No, it's funny about Fortnite because I remember loading up. I don't remember how I found Fortnite, but it was before it got big, and I remember playing the original Fortnite game, which was like a base building game, and like you had hordes of like zombies come and attack your base.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking like this is like a cool 7 days to die because you like literally spent time building up a base like you do in regular Fortnite Battle Royale, and then you get these hordes of enemies, mainly like zombies, that come and attack your base. And I love that. I forgot what it was called. It was a mode, but that was the game. That was the actual Fortnite game that you paid for.
That was Fortnite, yeah.
That was Fortnite. And then Battle Royale was like a side thing they did that said, here's a free version of Fortnite, and that's what blew up. The Battle Royale completely exploded. But I had a blast playing that.
Game model worked too. From a business standpoint, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and so I remember playing that, the defend your base mode, and then I played Battle Royale too, and I played back when I don't even know how many servers they had back then. It was pretty early. And then it blew up, and people were like, you load up your news feed, and everybody's talking about Fortnite, like Ninja's playing Fortnite, and all these people playing Fortnite. I'm like, I was playing that back in the day,
Right.
What other games did you test? Do you? I don't know. I know of Fortnite and Battlefield, but what other ones did you test?
Battlefield, Fortnite, Ark, a lot of stuff that nobody's ever heard of because it wasn't released.
Yeah.
No, for quite some time, dude. Like I was early access. I was all about that, and then yeah, recently not so much.
So Ark, what did Ark have when it was in testing? How many dinosaurs?
Like 5.
Like 5.
It wasn't a lot. I'm trying to remember. Like graphically, it wasn't that great.
Yo, well,
and it was weird because I'm trying to remember like what all we got whenever it finally went into the game preview,
Mm-hmm.
which is where you started getting like T-Rexes finally and the bigger dinosaurs. Like the Bronto, man, that one blew us away because you're used to like all these small dinosaurs and whatnot, and all of a sudden you have a big ass Bronto walking around. Like any fan of Jurassic Park, we're thinking this game's gonna go on for years, and here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I'll wrap this part up about a game that I'd like to see remade, and I've mentioned it several times in this episode one of our podcast, but I'd like to see Morrowind remade. But actually as like a current gen game, like I mean full res graphics, 4K graphics, everything, and another thing is like you go back and play it on Game Pass. I forgot how janky that is. The controls are really janky. Like I was fighting this crab and I'm hitting with my sword and you can't see the sword hitting the crab. You can't see it because the sword, the animation doesn't go all the way down. And I'm not hitting the crab. The crab's hitting me, but I'm not hitting him. And so I got killed by a crab. And I'm like, it's so janky, but man, could you imagine current animations with Morrowind and then incorporating that story and even maybe Oblivion, like me remaking Oblivion. Like Oblivion was just
Oblivion would be awesome.
oh my god, the story of Oblivion, the world, redoing the Imperial City, like actually doing the Imperial City justice. Like wow, I don't know. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm in love with the old Bethesda games, so I'm in love with them. So it's been a Bethesda type of episode, I think.
Dude, I think vampires have got us in a Bethesda mood.
Vampires.
Vampires and getting sucked.
I want to get sucked. Oh man. So let's do the life version of this podcast. And sometimes we're gonna have more life than gaming. We're gonna have more gaming than life. But this one we just had a lot to talk about gaming. But Steve, is there anything grinding your gears currently?
Only grinding my gears. Without going too much into like, we both have kids that are in school.
Yeah.
A couple things in school are kind of ticking me off, but it's not podcast appropriate. It's something that actually happened here. But one thing I will say on that is make sure you know what's going on in your kid's school.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's big. That's a big. And I have kids in school. I have 3 kids.
Ask the kids about their day.
Yes, that's a big thing.
And don't. Well, back when you and I were growing up, it was like, how was school? It was okay. I had a math test, and I'm going to go outside and play. Now we got smartphones and stuff. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't. And a lot of like my kids are kind of like me. They hold a lot in. And when they finally do tell you, it all comes out. And like so this kid did this kid did that, this kid called me that, he said I have funny looking glasses, and it's like it all comes out, and it's like, well, when did that happen? Well, this happened a month ago, this happened 2 weeks ago, this happened. And so yeah, asking them, and I do get in a bad, sometimes I'll say, how was your day? Oh, good. Okay, well, what did you do? I played with my friends. It's like, so try to go into more detail, and if you can get them talking, yeah, that's a big thing. Like get them talking about their day. Ask about certain friends, ask about certain classes and stuff like that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and anymore we have social media, and I'm far from friends with any of my kids' friends' parents, but like you can kind of get a vibe of what's going on just by like looking up social media, see what everyone else is saying. But having a relationship with your kids, make sure you have time to talk to them. Luckily, my kid was not involved in any of the crap going down.
Mm-hmm.
But, and it's really cool because him and I got a really good relationship. So I can ask him, like, hey, you got a girlfriend yet? And he'll be like, no. I was like, why not? Give him the advice that his mom doesn't want me saying, that kind of. But yeah, for sure, make sure that you are involved in your kid's life, especially when it comes to school and socialization.
Yeah, and I'm coming up to that. My oldest is 13, so he's getting close to that. It's kind of like that thing. What do they say? When you have a boy, you got to worry about one part. When you have a girl, you got to worry about all the parts. So
right.
So I got 2 girls.
At least boys, you're just worried about finances, what you have to pay for.
Exactly.
Girls is all psychological warfare, man.
Oh man, it is very psychological. And I have a daughter that's in 5th grade, and I am amazed by how evil 5th graders are. Like, dude, when I was in 5th grade, I was still bringing Matchbox cards to school, and like playing demolition derby in the closet of school. Like I said, hey, I gotta get my coat, and I'd be in the closet playing demolition derby. Like, I mean, I just 5th grade girls are evil. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, like Kenny, you said, like my daughter had a TikTok account for a long time, and she had the private account, the kids account, and she was just posting videos of her, like, doing reviews of like stuff and reviews of makeup and just stuff like that, and it's like some of what her friends would say just on TikTok, and it's like, wow, they're mean.
Well, they're ruthless.
They're ruthless, and so, like, kind of like you said, like, just be involved in your kids' lives. If they have a TikTok account, like the private account, even where they're just friends with people and only their friends can see it, or if they have a Snapchat account, like, be involved in that and see what's going on. And I really do. My kids seem to appreciate that when you're involved. They want attention. That's what kids want. They want attention. So
they want attention and they want security.
And they
might
security.
Not express it, but they want security from their parents.
They do.
Make sure you provide it.
So we just got all sentimental and all that stuff, but no, seriously, if there's life advice for the Spartan with Kyle and Steve.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Now you said something about squirrels too. What's going on with squirrels?
Oh, squirrels, dude. Oh my gosh. Anybody who's out there in gardens. I live in the suburbs, man. Like, flipping squirrels. I live out in the country. It's not that big of a deal. But now that I live in a town now, it's like I gotta adjust to a bunch of stuff. And squirrels are my biggest enemy at the moment.
They are evil. My mom has bird feeders, and she loves to like wake up in the morning and watch the birds in the morning. And so she goes. I mean, she spends a lot of money on bird feed. I don't know how many times I'll be talking on the phone, and she's like, "That mother bleeping squirrel." That squirrel will be in the bird feeder, stealing all the bird feed, and they're evil.
What I did find, you have to tell your mom this, is there is like spicy bird feed, because birds don't care if it's spicy or not, but squirrels do.
Really?
There are food deterrents for squirrels, yeah.
Huh.
So I got like the suet feeders that got capsaicin in it, and the squirrels won't mess with it, but the birds eat it all up. So.
Well, do you want to know what grinds my gears, Steve?
Oh, I know what grinds your gears, buddy. But what grinds your gears?
I mean, I could do probably a 6-hour podcast on what grinds my gears. I mean, I could list. I mean, literally, my gears are always grinding. I'll just say that. But
followed up by Peter's side boob hour.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I had to drive for work. Last night I had to drive 2 hours for work, and on a major interstate that's 2 lanes. So it connects 2 cities, and it's 2 lanes, and people that drive in the left lane grind my gears. What is the left lane for? What is it for?
Passing. Dude, passing.
So once you pass, get back over in the right lane. Like, it's that simple. Don't sit in the left lane and like do, if the speed limit's 70 miles an hour, that's what it is. Don't do 70 or 72 or 73. You pass and you get back over. And so, like, I gotta pass because I like to break the law. So I go 20 over. I'm kidding. I don't do 20 over. I do 19 over. And so, then I have to pass you on the right. And then I gotta get back over the left, and then I gotta pass somebody else on the right. And it's like I'm zigzagging, and it's like yeah. And
there is the exception though.
What's that?
National Lampoons. When that girl comes up in a convertible, it's all right.
See, that's okay though. But like, people that drive in the left lane just drive me bonkers. And so my blood pressure, I can usually feel my blood pressure starting to rise just a little bit.
Well, my health has been, I'm healthy, but I've had to go to the doctors a lot lately. Did you know they raised the blood pressure, like, acceptable limits?
Really?
I don't remember what mine was. Mine was like 5 years ago. Mine would have been high. But the doctor took my blood pressure the other day for some blood work, and they were like, yeah, your blood pressure is like 140 over something, and that's fine.
Wow.
They just accepted that America is fat, and that is now normal blood pressure.
Americans are fat and stressed out. So now
my question was, like, Yeah, it's normal for the population. Is that normal for being healthy though? The
Wow.
doctor's like, take that in because they can't say too much on that. But
You know,
like their opinion. But he's like, yeah, like try to get it down for your own sake. But as far as normal goes, you're normal.
yeah, and I mean, I dealt with hypertension like most of my 20s, and then in my 30s, I really took it. I took ownership of my health in my 30s, and I'm late
Yeah, tell
30s
me about
now,
it.
but like I took ownership. I'm like, I especially when I had kids, it's like I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see them, I want to see them graduate. I want to see them have kids and stuff. And I'm not gonna be able to do that if I have high blood pressure all my 20s, and it's like so I kind of took ownership of it, and my blood pressure's fine, but yeah, my 20s, I was always like stage 1, stage 2 hypertension, all that kind of
Oh yeah,
stuff. I mean, like
I
I
was
said,
on the Cinepril.
I think I did lisinopril for a little bit too. I think if I remember right, but yeah, and like I said, my gears are always grinding. They're just always grinding. But I think I learned to just keep those grinding down low and just not let it explode and stuff. And like, and then another thing is like when somebody gets on my YouTube channel and announces their exit, that's another one that's like they're like, here, I don't like you anymore, but I'm gonna tell you why, and then I'm gonna leave. And it's like, okay, then just leave, like go go watch another YouTuber and like but it's tough because you know I feel bad because I know as a consumer it is my job. I'm sorry, as the producer, I've been on both ends. I've been a YouTube consumer for years, and now I'm a YouTube producer. So it's like you aren't anything unless you have consumers. It's like a car dealership. You aren't anything unless you're selling cars or you have customers. And so it's like funny when you go to a car dealership and they're rude. They're rude to you. I'm like, what? Do you have another way to make money? Are you selling drugs? Like, are you? I mean, this is how you make money. You sell cars. What else are you doing? So if you're rude to a customer, then what do you have? Like that the
Well, the same thing
customers.
with being a chef
Yeah,
is like being a young chef. Somebody complains about your food, you're like, well, screw them. What the hell do they know? But then,
exactly.
like as you get older and more mature, you're like, well, I'm gonna either get down. Is the consumer being a dick, or is it something that is needs addressed in the menu change, or you know, was I sloppy that day?
Yeah, exact chef,
And
anything, and like so it's as a YouTube producer, you have to kind of look at that, and you want the person to be constructive and give good feedback. And if they're just being a dick, then bye. I'm not going to deal with being a dick, but you also have to read about what they said and be okay. Maybe I can learn from this, because you always have to evolve. Car dealers, Target, Walmart, whatever, whoever's selling stuff, you always have to evolve and get better. And I'm in sales, man. So
and Joe Dirt, it's not what you want; it's the consumer.
it's the consumer, Joe Dirte.
Dictate. I got my name changed. No, but as far as YouTube goes, like we make sure we put out what we like whenever we're doing the contractor and all that. We got to make sure that it's entertaining for us as well. But nobody's gonna watch it if we're just sitting there bashing, this or
Exactly. Yeah.
we'll say the commenters are gonna rip us apart, but we do it it's a joking manner. It's like we already know and love you guys.
Yeah. They know that they're gonna rip me. I might rip them back, but it's all in good fun. But and we'll probably we'll do a take up podcast episode and actually go in more into YouTube development and all that kind of stuff and like what if people have questions about it and but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. Like it's just like wow, like people actually want to watch this stuff. It's just and like we talk about it like, well, how do we want to make a video on this? Do we want to make a video on Redfall? Or do we want to make a video on Arc? Do we want to do that stuff? And it has to be entertaining. And if it's not entertaining to people, then we need to do something else and just keep evolving.
Even knowing we're just gonna screw around on a game, like we still talk for a couple days beforehand, like what do we want to do? Like
Yeah.
how do we make this entertaining?
And I guess that's what I like to watch. I like we both love Neebs Gaming, and
Yeah.
they screw around on the game, but also they take it somewhat serious. They progress. They build a horde base in 7 Days to Die. They progress the game a little bit. and they're starting to do tutorials now. They have their own tutorial channel now. So it's like they're a good mix of just messing around but also taking it serious.
Yeah, they are very entertaining.
Well, let's go into our last segment. We want to do something called we're going to call it FMK for the little ears that might listen to us. We do have some parents that watch our videos with their children. I think you're actually called Mr. Party Pants or Senor Pantalones de Fiesta.
Yeah, Mr. Party Pants. My daughter calls you Zombie Man.
Yeah,
but
I think somebody calls me Talking Zombie Man, one of the kids.
Yeah.
So
and before we get into FMK, like that is one thing I will say that we do cuss occasionally, but there are a lot of channels that cuss way too much.
Ooh, yeah. Some of them I think they use it as their selling point. You know, it's like
well, the community knows who I'm talking about, or I'm like, I don't care where you're from, doesn't give you you shouldn't be just sitting there cussing. But yeah, it is their selling
New
point.
Jersey, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and as the consumer, I'm allowed to not watch it.
Exactly. We go back to that thing, like it's our job as a YouTube producer to make the consumer watch. And if you get mad that the consumer's not watching, that's on you. That's on the producer. But yeah, like so yeah, we do cuss sometimes. I have 3 kids and I don't want my kids growing up to be potty mouths, so I try to be a little better. It does come out with me sometimes, so I try to be better. But we're calling this FMK. If you don't know what it's F, Marry, Kill, but gaming version. We figured since we've talked about Bethesda so freaking much this episode, we do Bethesda style. So I think we chose Fallout, the Fallout universe, the Elder Scrolls universe, and then the Wolfenstein universe. So in Wolfenstein, those are some of the most beautiful games I've ever played in my life. Like especially the new ones, like 1 and 2 and New Order. Like, oh my god! Like, could you imagine if Redfall played like Wolfenstein? Like, whew.
Too many guns thrown at you. You kind of had an understanding of what you liked.
Yeah, like can you imagine if Elder Scrolls Morrowind played like Wolfenstein, like the modern Wolfenstein? Just man, they're good. Let's start with F. Who we're gonna play short term. So
what we got? We got Fallout,
Elder Scrolls,
and Elder Scrolls and Wolfenstein.
Yeah, so I'm
starting to think we should have recorded this later because I still need more time, I think. So you're gonna have to go first.
Okay, I'll go first. For me, this is tough because Elder Scrolls takes up a very, very special part of my life. Like Morrowind, and then Oblivion. I mean, and then Oblivion, the Oblivion DLC. The Oblivion DLC, I forgot what it was called, but it was like you went to this really weird world. Something about the Isles or something Isles. Shivering Isles. That's what it's called.
Shivering Isles, yep.
That was some of the Shivering Isles was, oh my god. I still get tingles almost think about the Shivering Isles because it was just so cool. and then of course Skyrim, and I like Skyrim. I think it got more hype than I really cared for because it became a meme because it's like you can play it on, it came like Ark, you can play it on the Switch, you can play it on iPhone, you can play it on everything. It's like they were even like talking, the meme was like, hey, it's going to be on Google Chrome now. It's like an internet browser game, it's like, but I like Skyrim. I think I like Oblivion and Morrowind more. And then you have Fallout, and Fallout 3 was the first one that kind of came out on Xbox and stuff like that. They had the Fallout 1 and 2, but they were more like top-down games. And they're fun. You can play those, I think, on Game Pass, or maybe it's called Wasteland or something like that. But Fallout New Vegas was amazing. That's another game. New Vegas got released.
New Vegas, hell yeah.
It got released as a very glitchy, very buggy game, and people were mad because it came out as a game that was
remastered New Vegas, man. You imagine that?
Ooh, remastered. I mean, but once they fixed all the bugs, that's a amazing game. And and then Fallout 4 was fun, and then Fallout 76. I haven't played much with Fallout 76, but
we have to at some point.
Yeah, we've
If
talked
you
about doing 76. We've talked about doing that.
because its launch was absolutely atrocious, but now that it's stable, it is a fun game. But again, solo, you can only have so much fun solo. Get a friend to play 76.
I feel like that can be said for a lot of things. So, like in
Yeah,
life, yeah, you can do a lot of things solo, but you need a friend.
eh,
Uh,
playing with yourself is fun, but occasionally it's nice to bring a friend or a stranger.
or more friends. So,
Yeah, or more friends, friends and strangers.
friends,
Your
friends,
friend's
friends
friends.
that have friends, and friends that have strangers, and yeah.
There's
Uh,
a massive benefit to bringing friends.
and then Wolfenstein. I love Wolfenstein. This is some of the best shooters I think I've ever played in my life. Just perfect freaking shooters. So for
Their
me,
multiplayer was great too.
yeah, I don't think I've
Like
ever played.
Wolfenstein Enemy Territory.
I never played that. I guess so. I guess I never played the multiplayer. I only played single player, but that was back when I was really into single player games too. And Bethesda was all about single player games, single player missions. And so like I remember when Call of Duty axed their campaigns, and it was a big thing because it's like there's still a lot of people in this world that just want to play a single player campaign. They just want to get on that.
Especially the older you get.
Yeah, they don't
I
want.
got responsibilities, man. I want to pause and save.
I want to pause and save, and I don't want to deal with like a 12-year-old yelling at me in his mom's basement, and stuff. Like I don't want to deal with that. I just want to play a single player game. And so Bethesda, that was their niche. They just perfected those games. And so I think that's why a lot of people were excited about Microsoft buying Bethesda, because it's like that's what PlayStation has. They have Detroit Become Human, they have Uncharted, they have Spider-Man, they have all these first-party single-player games, and Xbox doesn't. They have Sea of Thieves, which is an open-world multiplayer game. It's so anyway. I just went on a tangent. So
our age group, we've got kids, but there's still people having kids. When kids are very young, you want to be able to put down the controller to go take care of your kids, especially babies. And like for what, like 2 years, I only played single player games. Didn't really play online with my friends.
yeah, that's like 7 Days to Die. I play 7 Days to Die single player because I can pause it. As soon as you load a multiplayer world, a private, you cannot pause it anymore. I think it happened in the Contractor. I got murdered in the Contractor by a dog.
Showed up on Dog Day.
I had the game paused and I got murdered by a dog. So yeah, single player.
Someone left the door open.
I don't know who does that. I don't know.
But you had to take the phone call too when you're at the crossroads. And I couldn't help you because I was back at the base and you're out there looting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have to pause real quick. We'll take a break from recording, and then next thing you know, you're dead.
I'm like spawning on my bedroll. Like, what happened? All right, so F, I think I gave you enough time to think about your choices. I tried to ramble a little bit there, but F, I'm gonna go with Fallout. I think I don't know. It hurts to do that because I want to marry Fallout, but I think I'm gonna go with Fallout. I feel like that's the right choice. What about you? What's your F?
The way we were talking about it was like the F is like the game that you're gonna pick up occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
The Mary is the game that you're going home playing all the time.
I kind of view it as like you're going to an island all by yourself, and you can bring one game, and that's it. That's the Mary, in my opinion. Like
and the kill is the uninstall.
Yeah, the kill's uninstall, but like the F is like you can play if you got a couple hours and you want to play a game, and it's the most fun in like a couple hours. But the Mary, it's like, okay, you're going to a deserted island all by yourself. You have food and you have one game you can take. What is that? So I don't know. That's how I view it. But anyway, what's your F?
Yeah, you know what? Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls. Oh man.
I'll pick it up. I'll play a playthrough. Maybe spend like 40 hours on it.
And then is there a certain game you're thinking of? Like just when you're just thinking about Elder Scrolls, is there a certain game?
Right now, it'd probably be Skyrim.
Skyrim, yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah.
Oblivion, I played the living hell out of Oblivion.
Oh, dude, if they did multiplayer on Oblivion, if they would just add multiplayer.
Really play multiplayer.
Well, I'm saying if they
I'm talking about like Skyrim. Sorry,
I was saying if they would add multiplayer to Oblivion, I'd make a series out of that. Imagine Oblivion Contractor. Oh man,
multiplayer Oblivion, co-op Oblivion would be fantastic.
Oh, if they just add it. all you gotta do. Just add it to Oblivion. Okay, let's do Mary. Pretty easy for me. I'm gonna marry Elder Scrolls. I'm basing that off Morrowind and Oblivion. That's honestly what I'm basing it off of. Those two games. Oh, gives me tingles.
I'm gonna marry Fallout 4,
Fallout 4.
but also see, her sister Fallout 3 on the side.
Fallout 4. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Fallout 3
I
is
had a
good.
lot of fun.
Fallout
A lot
4
of
was
fun.
fun.
Everyone wants to beef on Preston. I certainly do. But you get to build your settlement up. You gotta, and you can explore Boston. And
Dude,
the sports fans are probably agree with me. Who does not want to see Boston
but freaking the memes that came out of Preston. It's like you're fighting like 17 death claws. He's like, hey, there's settlements under attack. It's like, what? I'm dying here with death claws.
I will say I never brought him along with me. It was always dog meat. And
Was Fox in there, or was Fox Fallout 3? The big super mutant.
I don't remember what he's called in Fallout 4.
He's called something in Fallout 4. The super mutant. He was fun to bring along.
Yeah, he was pretty cool to bring. Or was a she? That was a she, wasn't it?
Maybe. Oh, it was a she. You're right. And she was always like emotional and stuff. And yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that was pretty good. I need to play Fallout 4 again.
I would just trek around with dog meat, and do our thing, man. And if dogs could die in that game, though, I'd probably leave him at a settlement. But no, dog meat can't die. He's coming with me.
He can't die. Is that multiplayer? I can't remember. Is Fallout 4 multiplayer?
No,
I didn't
76
think so.
though. Is
yeah, I see. I always thought
definitely multiplayer.
Well, I guess that leaves the kill as Wolfenstein for both of us. It pains me to say that though, because I love Wolfenstein.
Hey, kill does not mean that we hate the game.
No,
of the three, that's the one we're gonna pick up the least.
Because, like I said, the remake of Wolfenstein when it first came out to Xbox or whatever was just blew my socks off, and yeah, so it's a tough one to add that to kill. It's tough. And if you guys have suggestions for FMK, send them to us, because we literally just kind of chose a developer and with Bethesda. So
it does not have to be just one developer though. Like we were thinking like different developers and stuff, but I think we settled on Bethesda.
We talked about doing retro FMK, so pick a year and we got to choose 3 games or something like that. Or I've even talked about maybe doing a year, like we have to FMK years of gaming. So like let's say 1999 was Dreamcast. So kill off a year or something like that. You could do 99, 2005, or 2010 or something like that. FMK.
Give us some hard ones too. We can do like companions you hate. Dinklebot from Destiny, Preston. We can do something like that.
So you guys got suggestions? Hit us up. We have a lot of different ideas for the podcast, and if you guys have ideas for the podcast too, we'd like to have people on the podcast too. We can have people from the community, from the YouTube community, or other people that just want to be on the podcast. So we'd love to have more people on the podcast. This is just kind of the start of our epic journey. So, and anybody that stuck around with us for the last hour, thank you. I'm sure your brain hurts, and you're probably questioning a lot of things with your life right now, and I appreciate you guys sticking around.
So how can they suggest this stuff?
That's a great question.
How can I get a hold of you?
That's a great question. If you want to email right now, I'm going to set up an email for the podcast. I don't have one set up, but if you want to email me, you can do spartan85gamer@gmail.com, spartan85gamer@gmail.com. You can email us. I will be posting this on the Facebook page, Spartan85 on Facebook. I'll be posting this on YouTube, so you can hit us up on the YouTube comments of this podcast. It's just going to be on the Spartan85 YouTube page. I'm going to try to post this on Spotify and Apple as well. So I don't think you can do comments on Spotify and Apple, but
but what's your Twitter, man?
My Twitter. What is my Twitter? It's just Spartan. What is my Twitter? That's a great question. Hang on.
You can just search Spartan85. I know you can do that.
Yeah, just search Spartan85, Spartan-85 on Twitter. It's also at Spartan85gamer on Twitter. If you just want to hit me up on Twitter, feel free to direct message me on there. Steve is on there too. It's Freak Show. What is your handle?
Yeah, Freak Show 1945.
Freak Show.
This Spartan. He checks it more often.
Yeah. So Freak Show's on there. I'll tag him in the post on Twitter. So be sure to hit us up anywhere you want. I'll try to check everything. There's also the Discord server. You can join the Spartan 85 Discord server. And I will try to post a link in the description of the YouTube video. So other than that, you got anything else, Steve?
No, I'm gonna go smoke some ribs.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do the same. I'm not gonna smoke ribs, but I'm gonna go find something to do and probably work on posting this video, so this podcast. So thank you guys.
Say hi to your mom for me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see my mom. So maybe I'll have my mom on my podcast. That'd be pretty fun. That one will be a lot of cussing. A lot of cussing. So might need to edit. That'd be a lot of beeps. So
well, we were gonna have some beers, but we actually decided to record in the morning. So
that's another thing. Yeah, another segment we wanted to do is we want to try different beers. Where we try the same beer on each episode, and we just didn't get to that this episode. But if you guys have beer suggestions, let us know.
Yeah.
Just make sure that it's nationally available. Like I suggested Boulevard to Steve, and he doesn't have Boulevard. He doesn't have Boulevard. Boulevard's a Kansas City brew, so and he might suggest like something Niagara Falls or something like Bigfoot.
I got Adirondack breweries and stuff over here.
Yeah, like Bigfoot peeing in the river or something like that. So,
it's good stuff.
That is good stuff. So, all right, man, I'm signing off. See you guys later. So,
see ya. Thanks for listening.